So I just need to take a minute to map the Office 365 search and discovery capabilities to the Veritas digital compliance capabilities. If we look here on the left-hand side, going from bottom to top, capabilities moving up as we go up, and we see Office 365 content search, then core eDiscovery, and then advanced eDiscovery. Now on the left here, I've added in the licensing you would need to get access to those capabilities. So for content search, you're pretty much getting that for anybody who has an Office 365 license at any level. Then for core eDiscovery, you need to make sure that all the people that you want to discover against are having an E3 license or higher, which would be either Office 365 or M365. Then to get the advanced discovery capabilities, you need to get out your checkbook and pay for an E5 license. So you're looking at E5 Office 365 or M365 or one of the add-ons, which I'll talk about later. If we map over to the Enterprise Vault search, that's kind of analogous to the content search, but EV search is much more feature-rich and has a lot more capabilities that content search doesn't have. So that's why I've kind of mapped it up a little higher here. You see it's kind of in line with that basic search, but ours is way more feature-rich. Moving up now, Discovery Accelerator, which is our Enterprise Vault discovery capability, is on the surface on par with core eDiscovery, but again, it has much more capabilities, so I'm moving that up higher on the capability scale. And then finally, the topic for today is our eDiscovery platform, and we're going to map that and show how that compares against advanced eDiscovery to eDiscovery platform. So why did I tell you all this now? Because this really ties into the discussion about cost. So let's talk about that. With all these search and eDiscovery capabilities that are built in, an admin may think to themselves, well, I've got what I need here. I don't need to do much more. I've got content search. I can search as much as I want. I can do it. I can do my discovery. But actually, for proper eDiscovery, you're going to need an E3 license at a minimum or an add-on license per user that you want to discover against. And for eDiscovery, I'm talking about things like hold or export. Anything that you would want to do that's really legally defensible, you're going to be probably needing to do that. But not so fast. Just because you see something inside the Office 365 console and you can do it doesn't mean you're licensed for it, which may seem strange, but there's a lot of capabilities there, and it's very complicated to prohibit a lot of that. So a lot of these capabilities, like eDiscovery, are, once you do it for one person, it's activated across the environment, and then you can do it, and you think you're okay. But if you continue to do that, like for a year or so, you could be setting yourself up for a licensing and compliance problem or surprise, and you may get a call at the end of the year when you do the true-up with your licensing, and you may be expected to pay for the usage that you used for something that you actually weren't licensed for, that you needed and you used. So, this is an excerpt from the Office 365 Security and Compliance Service Description, which is a good place to see exactly what capabilities are there. And I'm just pointing out here that, if you have a license such as an F1 for a frontline user or an E1 for a low-level enterprise user, then you're not getting eDiscovery holds, you're not getting export, and you're not getting advanced eDiscovery for sure. And so this is important to point out here that these capabilities are not there unless you're getting up into this E3 or E5 level, as I've mentioned before. So I've had a couple other customers that I've talked to come back to me and say, well, Rick, hey, I've got some of these Exchange Online add-ons, and so I'm good. I see it's got some in-place hold here, or litigation hold, whatever that is, and in-place eDiscovery, so I'm good to go. I've got the Exchange Online plan too. I'm paying a bunch extra for that, so I'm good. And the answer is, nope, not sufficient. Those do not have the capabilities you need for proper eDiscovery export. They're for Exchange email only, as the name might imply, Exchange Online. And also, by the way, it's been retired. So this is a relatively new development here. They've made it pretty public, and they've announced this a long time ago. Some folks may have seen it, may not have seen it, but they started a wind down here in April, and in July, then you're done. So you're not going to be able to use these capabilities anyway, and they weren't sufficient to begin with. So don't be fooled. This is not sufficient. Microsoft has an E5 add-on compliance bundle, which has a bunch of capabilities in it, but what they've done recently is they've added some capability to it, but then chopped it up into 3 pieces. One piece is around data governance, one piece is around communication compliance and supervision, and the other is around eDiscovery, and that's what I'm going to talk about here. This is the eDiscovery and Audit add-on. And normally you would add that whole compliance suite bundle to an E3 base license. That was a kind of a requirement. But now what you can do is you can add these add-ons, this eDiscovery and Audit add-on, to any Office 365 or any M365 license, which provides some good flexibility and is a good comparison for what I'm going to show here, where I'm going to compare against eDiscovery in Office 365 cost against the eDiscovery platform cost. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show that in Azure. So I'm going to show eDiscovery platform running in Azure, the cost for that. And you can see here I've just kind of listed out typical EDRM model capabilities kind of from left to right or top to down here. And so, you know, for all intents and purposes, these are like for like. In the table on the right here, I'm just making the distinction between core eDiscovery capabilities and advanced eDiscovery capabilities. You know, if you had a checkbox up in here, like I have some Office 365 users and I need some legal hold, but I don't need any of these other things down below in advanced eDiscovery, then they would just need an E3 license, or you could add this thing on, this eDiscovery and Audit add-on. Or if you had some items down here in advanced eDiscovery, you'd either need the full E5 or you can add this add-on here. And there's use cases where you want to do one or the other. But what I'm going to show is it's very expensive regardless. So this is, again, simulating a 10,000-seat organization, 2,500 users with Office 365, 25 with M365, and 5,000, with E3. And if we kind of bring this down here, look at the cost section here, you can see where it says Veritas EDP Governance Suite. So I've taken our Governance Suite, which is a feature-rich suite, and it's a good comparison here, and I've actually added in the cost for running it in Azure and in infrastructure as a service to kind of simulate, you know, the SaaS experience here you might have with the M365 eDiscovery. And so if you look, it's $433,000 here for year one, but as you go forward to the right in time, you know, the price goes down. And why does it go down? Well, it's because it's a perpetual license, and you're just paying for maintenance and the ongoing infrastructure as a service costs. Whereas with the Microsoft 365 E5 eDiscovery and Audit add-on, you're going to pay the fee for that per month, per user, that you need to discover against for the whole year. That's $720,000. So in that first year, you're going to save almost $300,000 in this scenario. If you keep rolling forward, year two, guess what? You got to pay another $720,000 because that's the way it works. You're paying this flat fee per month, and you know, get out your checkbook, another $750,000 there for that. And you keep rolling forward another. So if you look here at the annual savings, you're looking at a total of almost $1.4 million in 3 years. And you know, this may look funny at first, and you may not understand, you know, the math at first, but what I'll do is here, I'll quickly just show some other numbers here at the top to help kind of bring that home. You can see the delta here. If you're going to add on this eDiscovery and Audit add-on, and it's only $6 a user per month. Okay, how bad could that be? So if we look at that, that's 2,500 users times $6 times 12 for these two, and then 5,000 times 6 times 12. Okay, fine, what's that come out to? Well, that's 180,000, 180,000, and 360,000 equals 720,000 per year. So this is where the math comes. You know, just do the math, as they say. So it's a significant cost difference, and as Irfan will show you in future slides here in these other round 2 through 4, we're going to see that the functionality that you get with eDiscovery platform is superior. So quickly summarizing what we just covered, you could see how the retirement of the in-place discovery and in-place hold capability basically lock customers in. They have all their data and their processes for eDiscovery in Office 365, and now they have to make changes. And they had some time, but still, it's a change to them. And you know, maybe they didn't need to go beyond email, and they just wanted to keep doing what they're doing. Now they have to buy into a much more expensive license, and that gets me to increased costs. So now you're looking at an E5 or an E5 add-on, which is required to get these advanced eDiscovery capabilities. Licensing compliance, I mentioned before, just because something works doesn't mean you're licensed for it, so you really have to be careful there. And you know, with EDP or eDiscovery platform, you're going to get, as you saw, a whole lot more functionality for less cost. And actually, you're going to see more about the functionality part in the next rounds.